one of the big reasons I love having you on, and people ask us all the time, well, why do you cover this machine or this person? Everything I cover in this channel is because I have a genuine interest, and I definitely have a genuine interest in high intensity training. John, I think, would obviously respect John. And a big thing is also because whenever I'm covering something, it's generally because my audience also likes it as well. So I have a lot of, believe it or not, a lot of hit advocates on the channel in the comment section. I probably lost some throughout the last few months, not talking about it as much. But a lot of hit people love doing hit or they've done hit. And obviously, a lot of people that do home workouts. And what's really cool about your course, which I don't know if I said this, maybe make it separate part of this, but got a chance to look through the course already, which is awesome. I would say it's almost geared towards someone who actually works out from home or can be. I shouldn't say geared towards, but you got clips from your house with very simplistic equipment. If anyone's seen your home gym in the backdrop videos, it's not like you got one of these crazy decked out, crazy gyms. You got bare bones stuff here with also some very other core key pieces, which might not be for everybody. That might be your specific pieces.
Mhm.
But let's get into what do you think if you, I don't want to give you like a, let's just say 10 things. I don't want to say bunch of stuff. What are like some of the bare bones stuff you think is all someone needs? Because I see a lot of people on my channel actually do total gym stuff with HIIT. We've already alluded to that a little bit, but there's a whole community
Yes.
that actually does that. But what are some core things that you think you'd recommend for people that kind of cover all the bases? Maybe let's say no more than 10. And maybe in there, if you were to pick up any kind of specialized machine, I'm talking about like leg extension, leg curl, a leg
Mhm.
press, other than like the verse. I know you're going to say squat, barbells and, squat, the dumbbells, but what would
Yeah.
be some specific machines you think for a hit advocate in the home gym, garage gym? Let's say a single car garage. Let's say that's what we're working with, single car garage or that amount of
Oh,
space in the basement.
wow. Single car. Not even a two truck garage like I have.
Yeah, let's say if someone wants to use this, that way it's kind of limited. You got enough space, but you got to be
Yeah.
specific of what you got.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want everybody to know, and you said that I have clips training at home. I did the entire course, the entire thing in its entirety,
Yeah, I should have specified that. Yeah.
training in my home studio, my home gym, my garage gym. My garage is not for cars or trucks; it's for gym equipment. Okay, so I have I did the entire thing in there, and yes, I have mainly basics true, and I did make it. I had to make a decision at some point, right, Mike? We have guys that have and girls that have the least amount necessary. Like you said, they have a sliding bench, they have a adjustable dumbbells, what are they called, power blocks, and they have a ball and they have some bands. Okay, that's sort of to me the most minimal that you can do. Okay, so we could put that over here. Okay, we have a sliding bench, a ball, bands, and power
Or
blocks.
a multi-purpose machine. That's a big popular one for small
I,
space,
I,
like a power
I
tech
didn't
and
even
stuff
get
like that.
there.
Yeah.
I didn't even get there, but you gave me 10.
Yeah.
So I was throwing a multi-purpose machine in there. Okay, and then a bench. So I did it in six. So that's
Oh,
sort of
okay.
the most minimalist and adjustable bench. Okay, so flat, incline, decline if possible. So all of that, and maybe some a mat. Okay, so 6, 7 items right there is sort of like the bare bones resistance training. You can do everything with just those things right there if you have the power blocks go up to a decent amount of weight. Okay,
No
because if they
squat
go
rack. I
to
thought you were gonna say squat rack and that. So when you first, why I interrupted you is I thought you were gonna like classify as like this is like bare minimum, like small space, and then you're getting
yeah,
that full car garage.
I
So
am,
you was okay.
I am. That you're right. You're right. We're thinking the same way. Um, I didn't want to. I didn't want to leave out. There we go. Those who have, let's say, a one car garage, but half of it's loaded with storage,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they still got to get something going, and they do have a few $100s to invest. Okay, so if that's the case, then yeah, you can get a sliding bench. It's all about resistance. A sliding bench, some power blocks. You don't even need the stand for the power blocks. Put them on the floor. Uh, a ball, so you can do some ball exercises. Okay, and I do mean exercise ball, like 65 millimeter, a pretty big one. Okay, and then or 65 centimeter. I apologize. And then uh, bands, with handles on the end, right? Maybe two different kind of bands, the kind that have handles on the end, as well as the kind that don't, that they're just loop bands, because you could do exercises with those as well. And then an adjustable bench, flat, incline, maybe decline, and then a multi-use machine. If you can pull that off, you could do it all without the multi-use, then save your money up and then get the multi-use to go with it. So there's actually a two-stage deal on the minimalist approach, and probably the least expensive of all. You could easily go on eBay or on what's the other place?
Amazon or Craigslist,
Craigslist.
right,
There it is,
Marketplace.
Craigslist. And there are people, look in your local Craigslist or local eBay to where you live, and you'll find most of those things. I mean, people are giving them away post-pandemic, right? I don't want to use
Yeah.
the word, I don't want to flag your video, but they're using, post 2020, 2021, everybody had equipment at home. Now it's the biggest garage sale on the planet. Okay. You can find stuff for cheap. People are just, hanging their dirty laundry and clean laundry on it at this point to dry in their garage. That's what they're doing. Okay. So, and they want to get rid of half this stuff. So there's great deals out there to be had. Okay. Past that point, if I have a cleaned out 1-car garage and I want to go ahead and do my ultimate, I have to get the power rack. Okay. The power rack. The power rack will allow me, and an adjustable bench right off the bat. Power rack, adjustable bench. Notice I didn't mention a barbell on the previous one, right? So that's sans without a barbell, that minimalist approach. You can get great workouts with that. Don't even have to buy a barbell or plates. So now we're talking about a power rack, an adjustable bench, a barbell, some plates. That's 4. The power rack should have a chin-up attachment on the top, at least a crossbar that you could do chin-ups or pull-ups, either way that you choose. So I'm at 5. And then you need some adjustable dumbbells. Again, I don't go and invest in a dumbbell rack. I get the adjustable dumbbells. It's not just power block. There's 3 or 4. Mike, you're the affiliate, brother, for the dumbbell. Which adjustable dumbbells are we recommending? Will you please? Which
I like
ones?
this. I like the snow adjustable dumbbells. I'll throw them on there. Although those rep Pepins, those are probably, I ordered those. Those are gonna be probably the best dumbbell out there. But I'll flash those on the screen. Yeah,
And because Mike, I consider to be an authority
Pepin want
on.
that.
Well, don't be so humble right now, okay? So you're an authority on home gym equipment. You've given here's the thing, guys. Mike's given honest reviews on the equipment. So even though he was given some free equipment, even though he's an affiliate on some of the companies, if he's an affiliate, it's because he believes in it. There we go. So that's important. So some of the things that he's already reviewed, he's done so. And those dumbbells, those adjustable ones you just mentioned, he's putting on the screen for you and put down the video description, I'm sure. I get the dumbbells, the adjustable dumbbells. So now I'm at 8. And barbell, bench, incline. I don't need 10, Mike. Right there. My dream situation, I want a little corner cable setup, a cable setup. You can get the attachments for your squat rack, for your power rack. You can get the kind that attaches right to your rack, a cable setup. So you can do things like occasionally pull downs, occasionally tricep press downs, cable rows, right? Those type of things.
There's a lot of hip people out there who love certain specialized machines. And of course, we think of specialized machines like Arthur Jones and all those types of Nautilus stuff. In the home gym, is there anything in there that you said, let's just say if you personally, it could be for the broad audience, is there something in there like, man, that would be, if I had to pick 1 or 2, maybe 4 max on whatever, specialized machines, maybe you could fit in that garage. Is there anything in particular?
I've had over the years the ability to get whatever I wanted at times. And not for free or not to promote a company, but because I wanted it and I would buy it or just get it. And the only piece that I have is a reverse hyper from Rogue. And I'll give them, credit for that. I have a reverse hyper extension machine in there, and that for the health of the lower back, I did it as an investment for my family, and I believe in it. It's done a lot. Not one of us has a lower back issue. It's rehabilitated people's backs. It's helped people left and right.
Did I see that in your gym a lot? I'm always wondering, like, is he still using that? Because that's a big chunk that takes a lot of your gym. And that's one thing that particularly that I know I love these machines. I just don't know what I actually use as much as I think I would.
Yeah, it's 3 by 4. Okay, it's 3 by 4, and it's of course a high table, but it takes up a 3 by 4 footprint, and then of course the swing section, it's going to swing out right an extra 2 feet or 3 feet, so it's probably more like a 5 by 4. Ultimately, you need that much space for it, and it is going to take up a section of your one car garage. I would put the reverse hyper on one end, and I would use a cable setup on the opposite end, and then I'd have my power rack smack in the middle with some free weights. Uh, that's as specialized as I get. What we're talking about here, Mike, is uh, you know what? You know what? Because I've watched you. And see, here we go again. Uh, the sliding bench, I may have to give a little plug for right here. Okay,
Hey, don't
because
don't don't do it on my account.
I'm not.
If you don't like it, don't do it.
No, I'm not, because I have had the chance to get on them, and my point in this is, over the years, I have now found that the exercises that we use with the basics in a home gym have now been proven to be more effective. The latest thing, you'll see several of my videos I've done on, I've talked about lengthened partials. Okay,
Yeah, I saw that today.
in the scientific community now, that's in the exercise scientific community, it's been proven that when you have resistance in the lengthened or the stretched out portion of an exercise, that means flat dumbbell flies, that means dumbbell pullovers, that means, man, you did it in that in the last video I saw of your whole body on the sliding bench trainer, on the pull downs, on the on almost every exercise, right? On the flies, on the cables, you're in a stretched position using body weight, uh, and you can adjust that with the height. So I would have to include that because that's also being proven now at this point to be effective.
But even
Yeah.
with the length and partial stuff, when that stuff started coming out, I didn't lose sleep over it. I looked into it a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It makes sense. But this is the question I get people pushing back a lot on this in the channel, and everyone loves talking, arguing everything to death about just in general. But with force curves specifically, they'll
Yes.
justify this approach or that approach. Well, that thing stinks because of the force curve. Or I heard people say this with the lever gym or lever arms. Well, it's horrible because the force curve is off. To me, at the end of the day, and this goes back to high intensity training and what you're kind of saying, this is what I gather why I love the simplicity of high intensity training from people like you specifically, is that I don't need someone to tell me. I'll get around the force curve, the improper movement by working that muscle, either the range of motion where I get that groove and I'm kind of dialed in, and I'll just work what I know, like this is hitting my bicep, I'm not feeling my shoulder or my elbows. I'll hit that range of motion a certain way. And you get some people watch it, well, that wasn't full depth. Or I don't know if you ever saw the guy, Jason Gallant, Natural Gallant, I have him on the channel. He's
Yeah.
a great, yeah,
Yeah.
he's awesome. And he's been preaching this whole thing of train the muscles, not the joints. And if you watch
Yeah.
him, they're like partial reps. I mean, his squats, people
Yeah.
make fun of him because he's doing these like quarter squats, but he's
Yeah.
working that lower, that length partial. But essentially, I think what he was doing, and he's been saying, is like, I'm just finding the groove that hits the muscle that I'm trying to work, and I'll work it to failure until I can't do anymore. So I always wonder, the question to you is, how much does that even really matter in the grand scheme of things? As long as you're finding something where
Yeah.
you feel like I'm doing a bicep curl, I'm hitting my bicep. That's why I never did as a kid. I'm like, kickbacks just seem like garbage to me because it's like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
only working like this doesn't make sense. Versus, I didn't need a scientific paper to tell me, wow, this tricep press down, angled a certain way,
Yeah.
fully flexed elbow, it's hitting the whole range. So going back to kind of feeling and just force curves, all that stuff. How much of that stuff you think really matters at the end of the day of just finding an exercise, a muscle that gets hit, working it,
You're
get to the
you're right.
ground?
You're right. You're 100% right. The primary objective is to work hard. The primary objective is to subject your muscles to a stress that's much greater than it does in a normal daily activity, normal monthly activity, depending on your age, depending on your health. Okay. That's the number one by far and away. Get that work in as hard, as intense as you can. That's first. Beyond that, it's secondary consideration. It is. So it's, we're getting into some weed action over there. Like you're in, not weed as in pot, but weed as in the weeds. And you're right. Working hard and making sure. I'm so glad you brought up Jason, because I didn't mean to be a little disrespectful on that one by leaving him out of that conversation. But he and I are collaborating on something already. We have something
Oh,
already.
nice. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Almost said hi.
So he actually is a good guy. He's in a part of the world where things are a little bit different, and he in Canada, and he's I love the part of the world. It's beautiful where he's at. Uh, but in any event, his training proven, proven to work, no doubt. Uh, is it high intensity in nature? Uh, on some levels, it is, and he has in the past trained with ultra high intensity of effort, and now as well, he still works out hard. Uh, those partial reps that he does, yeah, train the muscle, not the joints. That's his tagline, 100%. And you just said it. And occasionally he's a little goofy. I told him myself on the phone. I said, "Hey, we were on WhatsApp looking at each other. I go, dude, you're as goofy as it gets." He has been proven right over the last couple of decades to where the partial reps that he does, he avoids the complete lockout. That's the part. He doesn't do anything
But I was
for
thinking a lot of that. I
complete.
mean, not to give credit where credit's due with him, but when I first saw that, I'm like, he just really did a good way of just eloquently just saying that something simple. I think a lot of bodybuilders intuitively knew. I mean, do you need someone to tell you like, oh, your elbow hurts on an individual level? If I do this, just don't do that. I always think of like, Lee Priest. We taught Lee Priest before. I
Yeah,
love watching him. Most professional bodybuilders got it, but when you watch Lee Priest, his classic videos, when he would do reps, you would just see like it was all just grooved out, totally smooth like butter when he would do presses, flies. And that's when I saw he's clicking it like most people, we all can see a fly movement, but doing it the right way is like a work of art where you see that's purely the muscle, just the right weight, the right
yeah,
move. And that's
yeah.
why
As
I
a matter
feel
of
like most
fact,
bodybuilders got it.
yeah. As a matter of fact, you should tag Lee in this video so he knows that we're talking about him. He'll jump on. He'll comment. The thing about Lee is that he actually, as far as I know, he never injured himself in the gym. It's all outside of the gym. So all of his problems came from outside of the gym. Like he tore a bicep, moving a TV or his couch. He tore a rotator cuff muscle or his other bicep, walking his dog, yanking on the chain. I mean, there's things like that happened to him that everyday life, as opposed to in the gym, the controlled movements. He never hurt himself, and he had these billowing round muscles that just everywhere. Talk about working the muscle bellies properly. His workouts, in fact, they were a thing of beauty. His workouts were an art form of execution of exercise. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good example right there. So Lee, when you see this, good to see you.